I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't realize how racist Hispanics was until I got on TikTok and I started seeing their point of view of how they really think about us, for real.
Let me tell you, Mexicans are the biggest haters to ever walk this planet. They hate on their children, they hate on their cousins, they hate on their family, they hate on their coworkers. They're just certified haters, bro. The moment you're doing good in life, regardless, like whether like that could be your son sometimes or your daughter or your cousin, the moment you start doing good in life, man, they just start tearing you down. Like I remember one time I bought like a Mercedes back when I was in college, and I was super thrilled. It was my first car. Told me why the next morning when I went to go check my car out, there was a big ass scratch mark over there by the door. Turns out it was my uncle that lived with me at the time, mad because I got a car. Not just that, bro, but when I lived in Mexico, I used to go to this school. It was like a fucking Catholic school. And I was American, so when I went out there, and because I was a little brown, and everyone over there in Mexico thinks like, oh, I mean, if you're not white, you're like a piece of shit. They used to call me black, bro, and they used to call me negro and monkey boy. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of funny, but they threw bananas at me, bro. I'm not even that dark. Moral of the story is that I'm not saying every single one is racist and stuff, but I want to say at least 95% of them are, for sure.
We've seen this before. We would have the money and offer to buy a building.
L.A. We saw that with South Central.
Come on, my brother. With
Yeah.
L.A. over there, I believe it was
David Gross.
yeah, over off of Martin Luther King and Crenshaw.
Yep.
Known as the Black Mall.
Right.
Baldwin Hills Mall.
Yep.
Group of black folk had the money. They didn't ask for a discount or nothing. Had the money that was put up there to buy it.
That's right.
They wouldn't let them buy it. Why would you let us buy it?
It's power.
Our money is the same as your money.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we know what you're going to do.
That's right.
Which is free your people, provide jobs, economic influence, and build and resurrect that community.
Yep.
No, we can't have that. Why? Because we benefit off of you being in the enslaved position that you're in. So we can't do that. Yeah. So they sold it to a Jewish community. And I found that out because one of the people were bragging to me in a meeting about it, a Jewish man. Wow. And I'm saying this specifically for those of you in that community who you know about them a part of your community, not the racist ones, because some of you are not, but you know which ones I'm talking about. Like we got some people in our community who are some a-holes. You got some too.
That's right.
And he was bragging to me. So, you know that mall off of, bro, he was recently, you know, the mall off of Crenshaw and King.
Hey, that's a rich flex, huh?
No, bro.
Yeah.
The man walked up to the table.
Wow.
And he introduced me to him. I looked at him. He looked down at me. He shook his friend's hand who I was eating this meal with. And he walked away. And I was so infuriated because I was thinking, wow, the black mall is not owned by black people.
Come on now.
But we had the money to do it. We didn't beg. We didn't ask for a discount. We didn't try to, you know, get it on the low. We did it the way that you call the right way. We did it according to your rules, but we couldn't get it. So that means your system is never interested in us having it, even if we go about it the way you tell us to go about it. Just be a good old boy, have the credit right, have the money right, have the capital up, and we can let you do that. No. It's not like that all the time. It's not. And I know a lot of millionaires and billionaires who know that. Yeah. So it is about the power and the intent behind it. If we would have had in the agenda to give that over to somebody else or let someone else have the dominant control, 51% ownership and influence, then it would be cool. But because it's not that, they're like, hell no, we know what you Negroes going to do with it.
Do folks remember about 5 years ago when a group of black community organizers came together as a purpose to Crenshaw Hall? Yeah. Y'all remember that? You remember? Okay. And do you remember, even though we submitted the highest bid, we ran off 2 or 3 developers. We submitted the best bid. They still refused to give us our 40 acres in the mall. Y'all remember that? We raised over $100 million in 2 weeks, y'all. $100 million in 2 weeks. Back it up. Black folks came together and leveraged the moment in that white guilt and said, give us this money to buy our 40 acres in our mall. So they didn't sell them all to us, but we are still doing work in the community, and we're still getting our 40 acres, 1 acre at a time. And this building is community-owned, community-centered, and this belongs to you. We also purchased, there was a nightclub across the street on the corner of 43rd. What's the name of that club?
Manhattan Flats? Maverick Flats.
What was the name of it? 43rd, it burned down. The Total Experience. total experience. That was a historic black nightclub. It burned down. And guess who was able to purchase that because we had money? Downtown Crenshaw. And now we're in the process of building real affordable housing in that property. And it's going to be led by black folks, owned by black folks, and built by black folks. All right? Thank you. We have a total of 10 properties right now, commercial and residential. We've been helping folks who were in danger of losing their homes and adding ADUs onto the back and helping them save their home and also creating space for new folks who couldn't buy a home. So we didn't get that law yet, but we do have a lawsuit, so he can't do nothing with it either. Okay? We will not.
Like I said, my intention wasn't to get her fired, was to check her, to watch what you say, because you never know who will understand you. We give you a word of advice, and you got to watch what you say when you say it. Because this is what I'm saying. Because you don't know who speaks Spanish. Yo soy cubano, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo soy cubano.
I was just saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you need to watch what you say. So you see me as a black person, but you don't know my roots. You know what I'm saying? So and that's why I'm trying to wake her up to. Man, you never know who understand you. Because there's a bunch of us Afro-Latinos que habla español. Y como yo parle français aussi, I speak French and Spanish. So,
did you ever expect the video to blow up the way it did?
No, I did not. And, you know, I didn't video it. Like I'm telling people, I didn't video to get the girl fired. What happened was I was in the store, Family Dollar, and I was buying a few things, and some soap and stuff like that. Now, the one lady, she was on the aisle with me. She knew I spoke Spanish because I had my phone on speaker, and I was talking to a customer in Spanish. So she knew I spoke Spanish. The girl behind the counter, she probably didn't. So as I was going through the line, the lady in front of me, she had a little girl, and her little girl had some little tennis, and they were black. So she asked the girl behind the counter, what about the white tennis? She said, no, the white tennis, they were speaking Spanish. She said, the white tennis for boys. She said, but when I opened up the box, I put the box behind the counter because she said in Spanish, porque los negros estaban robando. The black people, and I'm going to say it without being derogatory, but she's saying the black people would be stealing the tennis. But she said it in Spanish in a derogatory way. So the lady in front of me, who knew I spoke Spanish, turns around and looked at me in the face. And then she started engaging in the conversation. No, estos negros siempre allá están robando las cosas. So I'm sitting in line. I'm really holding my peace to keep from going off because I don't want to act a fool. So I wait till she burn off, and I tell the little sister behind the counter, I said, let me give you a word of advice. I said, man, you never know. I said, you never know who you offend. And as I'm trying to tell her, I guess she's snapping. Did he understand me? So I tell her in Spanish, yo soy cubano. To let her know I understand. So now she's going to the fence and trying to explain to me why she said what she said. I'm just letting you know, though, when you talk about people, especially black people, man, watch what you're saying. I ain't recording you. I'm recording myself. I'm recording you now. So, you know what? That's what I'm saying. They be talking that shit Spanish, thinking people don't understand their ass. So when you talk about black folks in Spanish, a bunch of them understand what I'm saying. No, y'all talking in Spanish. Yo soy cubano. Yo entiendo. You know what I'm saying? And I was videoing myself. And then she hollered for her manager. You know, he's videoing me, so I'm like, I wouldn't, but I say I am now. So I put her on blast. And like I said, my intention wasn't to get her fired, was to check her, to watch what you say. Because you never know who will understand you. So you see me as a black person, but you don't know my roots. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I'm trying to wake her up to, man, you never know who will understand you. Because there's a bunch of us Afro-Latinos que habla español. Y como yo parle français aussi, I speak French and Spanish. So you see the man, but you don't know the roots. And that was my thing. You never know who you offend because you never know who will understand you.
Right. And what was that moment like when you got a call from corporate?
I can't say this here. Corporate called me to apologize. That made me feel good that somebody took out their time, that somebody responded to my complaint, because it was my Facebook friend, one of my Facebook Wonder. She called and she posted and she sent to corporate, and corporate called me and they said, man, we sorry, man. We sorry, that should have never happened. I explained to them what happened, and they said she never should have had that conversation. So they did apologize. They did call me and reach out to me to give me a sincere apology that they were sorry and that they would take care of, rectify the situation. Like I told them, I wasn't trying to get her fired, but say lo que sea, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah, Wendy, she's had some concerns after a couple of instances at the place where her son attends this after-school program. But she went to plug in his phone to charge it, and that's when she discovered what was going on between her 10-year-old and a worker here at this daycare, the Youth Life Center, that had more than crossed the line. And she's uncovered that relationship that had been brewing for likely weeks.
They hugged for a lengthy period of time.
Grace Shawelu thought something was off with a newer worker here at Youth Life Center on Valley Hill Road, but when she plugged in her son's phone,
her face was his screensaver on the phone, and it was a picture that she had taken of herself.
And she started digging.
I went through his text messages because that was the first thing that I thought. And her name was saved in his phone as Mommy. And it's a bunch of I love yous and what are you wearing?
She shared pictures of much of the concerning conversation between her son and the 24-year-old worker, and pictures like this one.
That's not a picture that you send to a 10-year-old. That's a picture that you send to your man.
She said the worker bought her son clothes, shoes, and even a gold chain. And Grace said when investigators came to her apartment, a Department of Family and Children's Services worker got her 10-year-old to reveal more.
He did say that this incident where she was rubbing his leg happened on the way back from the field trip.
We aren't using the worker's name or face because she is yet to be charged, and that's why Grace is outraged.
Had it been a situation where it was a little girl and a grown man, they would have locked him up on the spot with no questions until he was proven innocent.
I reached out to Youth Life Center, who sent a statement saying upon learning of these allegations, we took immediate action by notifying the appropriate authorities, going on to say we have terminated the employee for violations of standard operating procedures. Grace won't rest until that worker is charged.
I was quoted by a dentist in the U.S. $4,500 for work that I needed done on my teeth. And I said, fuck that, I will be going to Mexico. So I found a dentist in Tijuana. I sent them what my U.S. dentist told me that I needed. They quoted me about $800 for those services. I said, done. So today I went down to Tijuana for a few hours. I had them do an in-person evaluation. They decided I didn't need half the shit that the dentist in the U.S. said, one of them being a deep cleaning. And when I asked the U.S. dentist if I absolutely needed the deep cleaning or if I could just do a regular cleaning, they said, it's beyond the point of regular cleanings and I can only get a deep cleaning now. The dentist in Mexico didn't really agree with that. And my services ended up being $235. Again, I was quoted $4,500 in the US. The dentist in TJ was called American Biodental. It was incredible. I highly recommend them. Excellent service. We'll be going back. I've never had an experience like that in the US.
Now, let me tell you something. As a person that has taken a lot of hits and a lot of blows on YouTube by trying to bring awareness to a lot of these things, I'm going to, it's a little bit difficult to say that I'm shocked, because in one instance I am shocked because, again, the mother has all the proof that she needs, because this daycare worker, her picture is on the young boy's phone, the 10-year-old's phone. On top of the fact that she decided to send him a picture, like, she's fully dressed and everything, but she has on, what is close to be a miniskirt, like she's going out to the club. And like the mother said, that, that's a photo that you would send to a man that you're interested in. That would be your boyfriend, your husband, not to somebody who's 10. And to know the fact that the face of the woman is right there, and they blocked it out. That's insane. Because there's been so many instances where I've covered stories like this, and it deals with men, and the faces are out there. You know the name, you know the age, you know where they live, you know where they worked, where they previously worked, you know everything associated. But those guys end up, they get outed and they get thrown directly, in jail and prison and all this other type of stuff to get a record, right? Notice how they're still talking about, like, okay, well, we fired her. And that's pretty much the end of it. We, no charges, nothing like that. It's just an investigation. What is there to investigate? Like, and this is what I tend to talk about when I mention the whole thing of people saying that they want a balance or they want equality, right? When I think about things being equal across the board, I mean that when women decide to do the exact same things that men decide to do when it deals with minors directly out here, they should get treated the exact same way. I'm talking about jail and prison time. They should get a record. They also got to sign up on the registry. I didn't hear nothing about a registry at all. Clearly in that video, what did the mother say? That the woman that was the daycare assistant, whatever, she was rubbing on her son's leg. I can sit up there and tell you where more than likely she was rubbing at this moment in time. It doesn't take a rocket scientist at all. It doesn't. But this is what I tried to tell a lot of women directly out here. This is a clear-cut example of what I've tried to tell women countless times, that, hey, if you decide that you want to go out here on a limb and you just want to solely focus on men doing all of these things, you're going to sit idly by and then allow the other people to go out there and do what it is that they want to do. Because nobody's going to be looking at them. Nobody is going to assume that a woman is going to commit the exact same acts in a crime, right? Because women are more logical. They're smart. They're this, they're that. But clear cut, we clearly see a woman who has access, just like the men out here, to your children, and look what she was doing. And who's to say, because of remember how comfortable she is, that she was having these conversations. She had the phone number. He had her phone number. Her picture was saved directly in his phone. She probably got the exact same thing back and forth. That shows a type of comfortability, which means that she's more than likely done this before. This is not her first go around at all. Like I said, this is 1000% crazy. And more than likely, this woman is somewhere in between the ages of being within 20 to 30. More than likely. And this is how she decides to act. And the other thing that I want to list is the fact that dealing with representation of things like this happening, women and girls out here are, in a sense, overrepresented, right? Meaning that there are going to be groups or people, documentary stories, movies that are going to show in detail specifically what women and young girls have to sit up there and go through. Who are underrepresented would be men and would be young boys. Case in point, this story. Because whenever you think about somebody, as I would like to say, holding down the fort on the corner of pain, primarily you would just so happen to have women. You would have the young girls and everything out here, right? Those are the most outspoken people when it deals with this, right? Because there's room for that, right? Girls can sit up there and cry, women can cry, and they can come together and be within that experience and try to work through and heal, right? When it deals with men and young boys, there is no type of room like that. Even when it deals with women, if any of these young boys decided to come out and basically state what happened, the world would realistically make fun of them. Proof of which is the fact of the response that happened in the story. Like the mother stated, she was like, if this was reversed, if this was a young girl and this was a grown man, we all know what would have happened, which is 100% true. Nobody can disprove that. It's a 100% true and factual what it is that she's stating, because I've covered these stories. But when it deals with women committing the exact same acts, if not worse, seemingly the law is, a little light-handed when it deals with women, or they're pretty much hands off. Just like this example, the law is pretty much hands off. They're like, oh, we'll do an investigation and, we'll let you know. No, her face needs to be directly out there. Just as her face is on that boy's phone, her face needs to be out there for everybody to see, because she doesn't need to be able to have access or to be able to get any type of job being around or dealing with kids, because she is that type of person. And that's crazy to me. All this time that I've been doing these stories for years, I always hear people talk about they care about the kids, we got to save them, all this other type of stuff. But when stories like this come up, I don't hear nothing. I don't see people wanting to get, anxious, wanting to get angry, wanting justice to be, none of that. Because like I said before, nobody cares when young boys and young men have stories like this or have had to deal with these types of things. Like I said, he's 10 years old. Like, he should be worried about the brand new if he's into Power Rangers, he should be worried about the Power Ranger film that's about to come out, or the TV show that they're working on. He should be worried about potentially maybe watching Invincible, Invincible, or different types of cartoons or anime, playing video. Like, that's what he should be really focused on. But now, mentally, his mind has progressed further than his age because of how it is that an adult decided to come into the picture and add themselves there where they shouldn't be. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, like, there is no excuse for doing anything like this. And I sat up there and told people this before, that you have a lot of these women out here that are into this type of thing that will decide to go into this line of work or this area because at a moment in time when they themselves were in school, they were deemed unattractive. They weren't getting the limelight and all this other type of stuff. So now that the roles are reversed, they feel as though that they can go back here and, in a sense, relive that moment and now be the quote unquote it girl, be the one that everybody is going to, look up to. They're always calling the name of, like, right, all of the things that they wanted during that time. Now they actually got it. Now they actually have their power. Now they actually got that attention. And now you can clearly see that within this story and how it is that that woman took the responsibility of her being a secondary guardian and or protector or educator to a child and decided to turn that on its head and do what it is that she wanted to do for selfish gain, not caring what the consequences were. Because realistically, for all intents and purposes, when women decide to commit these crimes, there realistically aren't any consequences, even when it deals with other women knowing that women like this decided to do this. Now, on the other hand, when men find out that men do things like this, oh, you're going to be, even strangers on the street, be like, yo, you did what to who? Oh, word, I got you, no problem. We about to have a real good conversation. We're going to sit up there and teach you a lesson. The brothers and the fathers and the uncles and the grandfathers find out, oh, we got you. We're going to sit up there and see you. Don't worry, we'll find you. You don't got to worry about us. We will find you, right? You don't have to worry about the police, right? Because those men understand full well what took place, and they're going to rectify the issue. They're going to make sure that this does not happen again. They're going to send a message clear cut directly out there. And as I stated before, you don't have women out there on that type of time. I've seen women want to be on this type of time if they want to go after somebody who's dating their baby father, or if a woman decided that she wanted to sleep with another woman's husband and all this other type of stuff. Women will have the energy to fight for somebody tooth and nail, even to the point of extinguishing life. They will have all of the fight in the world for that. But when it deals for stories like this, where women are doing things like this, I've never seen the energy. Never seen the energy. And like I said before, that further shows to me that when it deals with the young boys directly out here who are amongst these type of women, and these things just so happen to take place, that even the women directly out here don't realistically care as much as they say that they do about the kids. It's only when it deals with a certain demographic that they can empathize and sympathize and see themselves with. Do they ever realistically care? And that's a shame. That's 100% a shame, because realistically, all children out here deserve to have a guardian, a protector, somebody that is going to look out for them and make sure that people like this are not around them. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.